Okay, we're live. We're good to start, Amanda.
Hi.
All right, well, media, thank you for joining. We are so excited to announce our newest LA Spark in addition, Amanda Zahui B. And we'll get right started. So I'm going to kick it over to her to introduce herself and say a few words.
Yeah, thank you to everyone that joined us now. I am so excited to be playing for LA Sparks. And also would like to thank everyone that congratulated me and wished me well all the way from New York. You guys will always be in my heart and I really appreciate you guys.
Okay, we're going to go into questions here. Again, use the raise hand function. Media, we'll start with Tugni Nguyen with the LA Times.
Hi, Amanda. Congratulations on your new deal. We're looking forward to seeing you in LA when we get back. But what were the conversations like with Coach Fisher that made you feel like you could have a place here on this team? And what do you hope that role will be?
Yeah, it was actually really good conversations that we had. Our first conversation was just getting to know each other. We haven't really ever had that one-on-one conversation. So that really made me want to come here because we built a trust from the beginning. And I was also being told that he was going to push me and just make me greater. And I appreciate that honesty, saying that I'm not where I'm supposed to be yet, but he is willing to work with me and just push me there. So I'm really excited about working with Derek.
We'll go over to Miriam Swanson with the LA Daily News.
Hey, Amanda, welcome and congrats.
Thank you.
I wondered about your relationship with NECA and I guess both the Agumakays and how well you know them and how it'll work out here in LA playing beside them.
Yeah, well, first thing first, shout out to West Africa. We West Africans, and they always been so nice to me. From my rookie year, I think I know Shanae a little bit more, and she's just an amazing soul and spirit. And NECA is a role model that I look up to, and I'm very excited to play alongside with them and get to know them even better. Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
We'll go over to Chris Camello with Nightcast Media.
Hey, Amanda. First of all, welcome to LA. Chris Camello here from Nightcast Media. I just kind of want to piggyback on that question. How do you see your game fitting in with NECA as well as Shanae? And do you think it's complementary? Do you think like it's going to take time to build that rapport? What are your thoughts on that particular aspect?
Well, I'm really excited to learn from NECA her footwork. That is something that I'm really looking forward to. We all know she got great footwork, probably one of the best in the league, in the world. And I'm just looking forward to learn and follow her lead. I do think that all three of us can really balance each other out. We all are a threat under the basket, but we also all can shoot. So I'm really looking forward to like just playing off that, reading the defense. And that's something that I talked to Coach about yesterday. That he's going to put in place, but it's all about reading the game. And I'm really looking forward to doing that with great players. So, yeah.
Brady Klopper with SB Nation.
Hey, Amanda, welcome to LA. Last year was kind of a step forward for you with your three-pointer, both in efficiency and just in the amount of shots that you were taking. That's something that LA hasn't had all that much of from the center position over the last few years. How do you feel that fits in with their offensive system? And when you talked with Derek, did you guys discuss that?
Yeah. So obviously everyone knows that I can shoot. So that's definitely one of my threats and something that I want to be more consistent with and taking the right shots, but not just settle to being a shooter and a pick and pop player. That's something that me and Coach talked about our first conversation, where I am starting to dribble more, right? I'm starting to attack the basket more from the 3-point line. And that is something that we are going to work on before, during practices and after, and then make it happen in the games. So I'm really looking forward on just like developing my overall game and keep on just getting better on the 3-point line.
We'll go to Erica Ayala with Locked On Women's Basketball.
Zahui, good to see you, sis. I'm excited for you. Although I won't get to see you as much because I'm here in New York. But you've alluded to this a few times, and I would love for you to maybe talk about that challenge that it seems that Coach Fisher posed to you. When you heard that, what were some of the things about your game that came to your mind right away?
Well, definitely going back to being a stronger presence in the paint, and just working with him, getting more comfortable, going back to that role, and just play relaxed with a purpose, you know. And that really like made me excited when we had that conversation. I wanted to get on the court right away. So just overall game, like always, you know, I always say that like I want to be consistent, but I'm really looking forward to being pushed in a different way. This is a new setting. This is a new scenery and new coaching staff. So it's going to be different, but I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm going into year 7.
We'll go to Pepper Persley with the next.
Hi, Amanda. It's always great to talk with you. Congratulations. You look great in purple, by the way.
Thank you.
What about the Sparks franchise appeal to you the most?
Oh, well, first of all, there's a winning culture here, right? We all know that LA and Sparks are always on the winning side of things, and I'm just looking forward to being around champions. You know, I have teammates now that have won multiple championships and just some of the best players in the world. And that mentality and the atmosphere that is in the Staples Center, I'm just really looking forward to playing out there.
Thank you so much. And I agree with Erica. It's going to be tough to try to keep on watching you because I'm still here in New York.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to miss you guys.
Thank you, Pepper. We'll go over to John W. Davis with Winsider.
Hi, good morning, Amanda. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you?
Doing well. I wanted to talk to you about, June 15th, 2019, when you were at the Staples Center and you couldn't miss a shot, and, you had 37 points, 6 blocks, 7 threes, and you were just on everybody's radar here. And on the opposite side, everybody's probably looking like, what is she doing? We need to stop her. Well, we can't do anything with her. But I feel like that put you on the radar here. So with that said, like, how apropos do you think it is that, where you had your best game ever in the WNBA, less than 2 years later, now you're going to be playing for the Sparks?
Yeah. So like I feel like I always have my best games out here. So I'm really excited to just like keep on building on that and have my best game every night when we play at home. It is kind of wild that I had that game against the Sparks. But now I just had to do it to New York.
We'll go over to David Yapkowitz with the next.
Hey, man. Welcome to LA.
Thank you.
The past couple seasons, you really emerged as, one of the better interior defenders in the league. Your shot blocking, rim protection, and then the Sparks last year were one of the best defensive teams in the league. And how do you see yourself fitting in with the team on that end of the court? And especially, alongside Nneka, who's also, one of the better interior defenders in the league as well.
Yeah. As I said earlier, I'm just really looking forward to learning more from Nneka, and just following her lead. It's going to be really exciting. And I just had that defense is something that I always have to get better on or at. And yeah, I take pride in, defending the basket and blocking shots. That's something that really gets me going. So just being down there with Nneka or Shanae, it's gonna be dope. It's going to be so much fun.
We'll go to Sarah Valenzuela with the New York Daily News.
Hey there, congratulations. We are going to miss you in New York, so sad to see you go. What and who will you miss the most now leaving New York? Kia said she would miss Stokes, so who's you?
Oh God, I can't pick one person that I'm going to miss the most. I literally have so much love for all of my teammates in New York. And it's going to be hard, you know, being away from them for the first time. And I have a different relationship with every single one of them. You guys know that, you know, the Kias, now one is in Phoenix, but they're very special. Like, so it's going to be hard living without them. And then everyone knows that mine and Beck's relationship is very special, something that I value a lot. So I'm going to miss her a lot. And then all of the rookies from last season, they warm my heart, and I'm going to miss them, but we all going to stay in touch. And I'm rooting for them, besides when they play us. So, I mean, they all know I love them and wish them the best.
Pavi with H&B Media.
Hey, Amanda. The Sparks have two great all-star guards in Erica Wheeler and also Christy Tolliver. Examining their games from afar, what do you think about them? And also, how do you see that fit with you?
Oh, yeah. So the first thing first, like, I cannot wait to pass KT the ball when she's in the corner, because that's automatically money. And it's been that ever since I've been in the league. So I'm just excited about like getting a couple assists there, because as soon as she hits that corner three, you know, it's game over. I've experienced it. So, and then Erica is such an amazing soul, and I'm just really excited to play alongside with her, and her energy and her love for the game is going to be so dope. I'm like, I can't wait to get started.
We'll go to Amanda Skurlock with the LA Sentinel.
Hi, Amanda. Welcome to LA. I'd like to kind of know, like, how did playing overseas, especially with EuroLeague women, kind of help you with your game?
Yeah. So, I mean, playing overseas has always been where I played the most minutes, where I have had the chance to be on the court, like game time, and just develop my game. Playing the EuroLeague was one of my first dreams as a young baller. Being European, that's what I watched. I watched when Sil and DT and Sue and Lauren, they were all in Spartak Moscow. So that's like a dream of mine that I'm living. And I just love it. You get to travel, but you also get to play against the best players year round. I play against the best players in the W, and then I go overseas and I play against the best Europeans and Americans again. And it's definitely a blessing. And I learned so much from each and every single game.
Go over to Sylvia Guevara with Beyond Women's Sports.
Hi, Amanda. How are you? Congrats on the move.
Thank you.
What's the first thing you plan to do when you arrive in LA or when you have free time?
Okay, so I'm actually already here. I had lunch with Coach Derek yesterday. But I really just want to explore more out in LA. I never spent this much time out here, only when we had away games, and we were here for 2 days. So I only really seen downtown. And now I have the opportunity to go to the beaches, to go hike or hiking, and just, you know, just walk around. I like a nice scenery and a good coffee, so just do chill stuff. And obviously hoop, but that's beside me.
Time for a few more here. We'll circle back to me with the LA Times.
Amanda, you mentioned it earlier about LA's winning culture. That seems like a big shift from where you were with the Liberty. That franchise was just kind of in a different stage of its life. So can you speak a little bit more about how you're preparing for that transition into this winning expectation and how that motivates you as a player?
Yeah, well, first of all, everyone that played in New York are all winners. The seasons haven't really gone the way that we planned, but that don't take away the fact that every single day in practice, we went in with killer mentality and we wanted to win, and we went at each other. It just didn't turn out the way we wanted to. So coming into this culture, I'm going to bring that same mentality of being a winner and wanting to win. And I know that I'm just going to be fed off everyone else's energy and build on that and take any and every opportunity to learn from everyone around me to be a part of a winning culture.
I will go to Charles Hallman.
Greetings from Minnesota, Amanda. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Hope everything is safe and sound for you.
Yes, sir.
Two questions. One, what was the frustrating or positive things that you had to go through in this free agency in deciding where you was going to go? And then how are you going to continue your book club that you started in New York? Are you going to continue that in LA?
Yeah, so the hardest part about free agency really was not knowing 100%. I'm a stereotypical Virgo. I like to plan everything, as you know, and I like to have everything in front of me. So, waiting while I was overseas, for the time to come closer, and then being out here and not really knowing, I think that was the most frustrating part. But once I actually allowed myself to be out there and have conversations, I started appreciating it more. So it was hard for a short while, um, but it's more so a blessing that I finally actually made it to my 7th year, and I'm a free agent. Never thought that day would actually come. And then as far as the book club, I really want to continue doing that. The girls that I was working with and reading with literally inspired me every single time we had a session. And I want to keep on building on that. So it's not something that I'm going to give up on. I don't have any direct plans right now on how I'm going to go about it. But the book club is going to happen one way or the other.
Again, congratulations, man. I'm always proud of you. Good luck.
Thank you.
I was on mute. Thanks, Charles. Couple more here. We'll circle back to Erica.
Thank you much. Mr. Hallman, he always sets me up. I appreciate that. But I also wanted to ask you, Zahui, about free agency, but from a different perspective. This has been a free agency quite literally like none other. But I think you could also say that about the 2020 season on a lot of levels. But for you, I have always gotten the impression that speaking out about racial and social justice has always been extremely important to you as a person. And I do wonder how much, if at all, just the strides that the league has made weighed into your decision or your thought process when it went to free agency, as far as literal geographic location or even players and coaching staff that you might be around.
Yeah, so in all honesty, obviously I was in New York for 5 years, and it's hard leaving a place that really means a lot to you. But as far as standing up for injustice and racism and police brutality and standing up for all kind of humans, that's just what I do. So it really don't matter where I am in the world, I'm still gonna do that. I still believe in humanity and that we all need to be treated equal and with love. So yeah, like it really don't matter where in the world I am, and the league is doing a great job of supporting us in all of our acts of activism. And I know that no matter where I am, my teammates, whether it's from New York or out here in LA, and friends from different teams are going to support me just like I support them in everything.
Thank you so much, Amanda. I think don't see any other hands, so Just want to thank the media for joining today. Oh, we got one more. We'll end with an LA media. Miriam Swanson with the Daily News.
Sorry about that. Just a dumb question. How did you find basketball in Sweden, or how did basketball find you?
Oh gosh, I was forced into it kind of. So I've always been tall, and my family always been into doing some kind of activity after school. So it was a period of time where I really didn't do anything, and my parents asked me if I wanted to play volleyball or basketball, and I had to pick one. And I said basketball, I guess, because I knew about Michael Jordan, and went to one practice, and I fell in love, and now I'm here.
Hey, that worked. Thank you so much. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Miriam, and thanks again to everyone for joining. Thanks to those watching and listening live on Twitter. Again, very excited to have Amanda Zahui B joining the LA Sparks, and that's it for today. Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you.